it's a VTEC S15. Oh. The cracks, panel gap, coffee cup stain. You need to be careful. I shall close that.
This car changed my life. Hi, I'm Adam C and welcome to my Cobra. Today we are heading to the Pine Ridge Golf Club for a classic muscle and retro car meet with hopefully a bit of a surprise as well. So we're just approaching now, so I'll catch up with you once we're inside. Wow, look at the cars going in. Here we are, Pine Ridge Golf Club. Nice and early. A lot of American classics there. There's an MG Magnet, a few cars ahead. Don't know what that one straight ahead is. So we are parked up and it is absolutely rammed. We spent the past hour getting some food, and in that time the car park has filled up and then some. So we are right in the corner and there are tons of classics and muscle retro cars to look at. I think cars are still trying to come in, but they are being turned away unfortunately because there literally is no space. So everyone is double parking. Here is the Gremlin with his Gremlin on the tow bar. It is a wide body mini pickup VTEC. Oh look, it's a VTEC. We've got the El Camino next to the Mustang. We've got a Mach 1 Mustang with a blower. And we've got this Caterham 7 with very small headlights and a slammed Porsche 993, which I believe could actually be a Volkswagen Beetle underneath. Next door to the 993, we've got this 7-Up Volkswagen Camper split screen. All the classic retro 7-Up branding on it, including on the canvas. Got the logo, we've got a Plymouth, another Plymouth, and this is low. That sounds like a car that can't get in, who is revving. Are they parking down the road maybe? There we go, it's a supercharged Volkswagen Beetle engine, because obviously it was once a Volkswagen Beetle, this car. It's got the Porsche 993 Targa shell on top of it and a supercharger on the engine. We've got this grumpy speed shot Chevy with a bicycle in the back. Looks very artsy in the thorns and thistles. Check out the glittery paint and the ventable chromed vents and the kissing flamingos. I have seen this Comet at many events before and I appreciate the sparkle in the glittery pink paintwork. And here we have a Ford Zodiac, which unusually has a Shelby logo on the side as well as a Mustang horse on the front. Does it have a Mustang V8 under the hood? We'll never know. And amongst all of these American classics, we've even got an orange S15. Nice Ford Model T. A lot of these hot rods are very indistinguishable. I'm just going to call this one Grasshopper, as he is known. Chevy pickup next to Jensen Healy's opposite a Ford pickup and some kind of orange hot rod. Oh, hula hula.
Oh, she's not hula-ing.
She's not quite hula-ing. A little bit of hula.
I like rhubarb and custard.
Rhubarb and out-of-date custard with BMW mini headlights. You'll notice. We've got a Rover Vitesse next to a Pontiac Firebird with a probably supercharged V8. We've got this Ford Capri here, which has a Ford V8, the engine they always should have had, and a Mazda RX-8 gearbox and prop shaft. Someone's alarm is going off from a loud acceleration of a loud V8 muscle car in the distance. The Chevy has not unloaded his junk from the previous day. We've got all sorts of wheels and there's a grille there. There's a door from a shed. Oh, revolutions. There's a Corvette here. Who's revving? Is that a Mustang? Yes, it is, of course, a Mustang. This is black with golden stripes. There's another Mustang there, and one of these crazy-looking dragster style things. I believe he has a wheelie bar. It's called the Little Rascal. It once was an Austin A35 potentially. There's the wheelie bar. There's a Mark 1 Ford Escort. We are gradually getting to the random golf club traffic. And this, albeit looking very American, is actually a British Sunbeam with a British Rover V8. Despite the fact that the Rover V8 was originally a Buick block, but we'll just gloss over that. We've even got cars double parked here, blocking in the golfists. And just further down we are approaching the special surprise that I've got for you, the car that we have come to see today. Now the car in question belongs to Chloe's cousin, and he is here today. He will give us a little tour around the car, I'm sure. This is a Ferrari Testarossa, a genuine Testarossa that has had the roof chopped off. So this car was bought in America. It wasn't the one-of-one original Testarossa convertible. This has had it done to itself, and it is called the ratarossa because of its rat rod appearance and style to it. So it is literally had it sliced off, and here is my first time seeing the ratarossa. It's even got a genuine Ferrari bonnet stay here, displaying the original flat 12. The interior is original, and the primer coat adds to the rat rod feel to it. But there you go, there is the ratarossa. So you can notice the original shape of the rear screen, and then the roof would come down here and join where these bits have been welded. It's used as a bit of a workbench. You can tell by the coffee cup stains on it. It's certainly not taken seriously, but it started life in California. Of course, as it came from America, it is left-hand drive. I imagine these seat belts are a fairly recent addition. They look a bit different to the condition of the rest of the car. The plan is to drop out the engine and clean it up a bit and make it as show car underneath as possible, but still have the ratarossa look to it. So it's got these fastening pins to fasten the engine cover down. Original ones would open the other way. You can tell cars are parked on the roundabout entrance, or even parked down the road on the side, because it's been so rammed today, there's nowhere else for them to park. But this is what we're here for, and luckily it has acquired a space at the front of the golf club. So cars are slowly manoeuvring around and exiting the show, so more cars are coming in as a result. We've got this Porsche Speedster in front of the Lincoln Continental. It's giving us a cheeky wink. But yes, this is a Chesil Speedster, a 356 replica, but still looks lovely. It's slightly bigger than the original 356 Speedsters. Talking of big cars, the Lincoln Continental is huge and still only has 2 doors. But before we go into more detail about the ratarossa, we're going to head in the Cobra and follow it to where Scott keeps the car and tell you a bit more about the car and its history. That is quite the spectacle, seeing a rat-rodded Testarossa. It's got a European sports exhaust on it, but it is a US car, so it sounds good as well. So loud, we can't hear the Testarossa.
Yeah, dog.
Yes, that's our advantage. They've lost him. So after a lovely drive in the Cobra and the Ratarossa, we are back here, and we had a discussion. If you were to put these cars to the general public, which one would they think was the replica? My Cobra or the ratarossa? A lot of them would actually say that the Testarossa is the replica and mine could be potentially real, apart from when they see a 25-year-old driving it. That is why Scott keeps the engine open, so that it is revealed that it's got the original Ferrari engine, of course. As I was saying earlier, the bonnet or engine cover opens in the other direction to normal, so it's got new hinges here, which I'll show you a little bit later. The old roof would come down here, and as you can see, it's been welded flat. This is obviously a Californian car, so it was US spec, so it had the US reflectors, which have been got rid of. But
it's easy to say, why don't you just spray it? But you can't really tell on video, but it's not really worthwhile. It needs a lot more work than you may think. So to keep it in this visual specification is probably the best way forward for this. The original owner was going to turn it into a orange convertible Testarossa, but I reckon a one-of-one rat rod Testarossa convertible is something a bit more special. You might notice Scott has a few other Ferraris. There is a US spec 308 GTS. We've got a Ferrari 360 in Challenge Stradale specification. This is a full nut and bolt conversion to Challenge Stradale spec. This is a daily driver, so again, it's not in pristine condition that you would normally expect from a Ferrari, which is actually refreshing to see. And then you have the garage queen that is the 355 F1 Spider in the garage. This lives in the garage because there is no roof. About 20 Testarossas have been converted into convertible form. Most of them do have fabric roofs fabricated for them, but this one doesn't. This is a permanent convertible, permanent open top. So if you get wet, you get wet. There is no way of keeping the rain out. So yes, this one stays in the garage with the puddle of oil. It's definitely not from this car. Again, visually on the front of the car, you can see all the cracks and the filler and the work that would be required to make it back to how Ferrari intended. I'd also like to talk about the panel gaps on this car. It's a little bit wider here than it is over there. It didn't sit as flush as you would expect, so that would be something else that would be required in order to turn it into a show queen. When the car was bought, it did not have these Testarossa lines in it, so that's why they are new compared to the rest of the car, as well as the wing mirrors. The wheels are not bad. So with the engine on display, you can see the hinges that have been put into place, taken from like a prison cell door. Originally, the fuel cap would be on this little section that would come down from the roof, and then it would go down into that down there. But we've got this new cap here that isn't yet being used, so fuel still goes in there, so you have to open the engine cover to put fuel in at the moment. The plan is to direct it to here, but as yet it's not actually functional. That's where fuel goes, that's where oil goes. And just down from the fuel, that's where all the heat is. So when you're filling up with petroleum, you need to be careful. But we have moved the Cobra out the way. We're going to take this for a cheeky spin, just to let you know what it sounds like from inside. It's going to be weird me being on the driver's side. So we've got the original brown leather and a new dashboard. That's a nice handle there.
That's one thing I need for this car. Well, actually two things. I can't get a pocket.
Oh, yes.
And I just need a cover for the this smoker's ashtray over there.
Yes.
One thing we have got on this car that I did add.
Oh, I noticed the speakers and I was
Yeah,
going to ask.
yeah.
I couldn't see one.
So
but
we
no, it's
have
got
this. Is the only Testarossa with factory sat nav. It
Sat
actually
nav?
works. It's a 430 Scooter Real one.
Oh wow.
And yeah, we got sat nav in this Testarossa. Nice car, isn't it?
That's a nice car. So it's really bizarre being on this side of the car, but I can get used to that. It's also bizarre having no roof in a Testarossa, but you'll see it does come up to where you are sitting, so the windscreen does almost act as a roof, and when it does rain you get wet from the side, but it does go over your head just about enough. So here we are in the ratarossa. There we go.
Lovely
masculine
Italian
horn.
beat there.
It does mean you can hear it better when it's got no roof. I like the pops and crackles from it as well.
I don't know if they're meant to be there. You hear that? That's where it glides
That's
down.
the
a little
suspension,
bit,
is it?
yeah. Oh,
There it is.
did you capture that one?
Weather like this, that's when it's useful having no roof.
We're in California. You know?
Yeah, exactly. We have no rain. And we've got the passenger glove box, which I can just open now. We've got the vanity mirror on display as well. I shall close that. I'm not that vain.
Very 80s, eh?
Yes. So that was a ride in the Ratarossa. Let's talk to Mr. Ratarossa himself about the history of the car.
Shimmy, shimmy.
So that was my take on the Ratarossa. Now we've got joined by Mr. Ratarossa himself to tell us a little bit more about how the car came about and the whole story about this Testarossa. So over to you.
Over to me. Right, well, the car was an absolute chance buy, as most of these kind of projects are. I had a 1990 red Testarossa, which was in a bit of a better condition than this car. I was looking for a part, and Google search brought up this roll-in kind of project on a kit. It was called a Lamborghini Kit Car Forum in America, and naturally I thought it was a kit car, but then on closer inspection I discovered it was the real deal. And the thing that really appealed to me about that was the price that the seller was asking. Long story short, I negotiated a deal with him, told him that I would be the only crazy person probably on this planet that would take on such a rather ridiculous project and try and put it back on the road where it belonged. I always had a plan B with this one, because the price I actually paid for this car with all the shipping from the US, it was over in California, to the UK here, with all the shipping and the taxes, was £16,000. Now at the time there was a second-hand gearbox on eBay for a Testarossa, and that was £18,000. Things such as a door on this is about £3,000, mirrors, everything like that. There's a lot more in value on this car than the asking price. So we did it, and as I had promised the previous owner, I put it back together. We made it roadworthy, and this is what we have today on the car.
Indeed.
So it's not quite what most people would anticipate or think of a Ferrari as being, but we have a lot of fun with it. Adam's seen the car, he's shown you the car. You can see that if you wanted to put this car perfect, it would need a huge amount of time and cost involved to do it. Would really make this not worth it at all. So we just have a lot of fun with it. It certainly causes a bit of controversy. It's a bit like a Marmite car, this one. You either get what I've done with it or you absolutely hate it. So I prefer to just enjoy it, and it puts a smile on my face. You've just been out in it. It sounds pretty phenomenal now. I was in this garage, in this spot a couple of years ago, over a winter, putting it all back together, and I thought, I'm spending a lot of time in here. How can we make this work? So we then just sent an email to a load of magazines. That then became, or led into me creating my own YouTube channel, and now this is what I do for a living. So this car changed my life. So thank you very much, Mr. Ratarossa car.
Absolutely wonderful. So there you go. That was the Ratarossa. So check out Scott's YouTube channel, Instagram page, Twitter, and is there a Facebook page?
There is a Facebook page.
There is a Facebook page as well for you Facebook fans to follow. But I hope you enjoyed that video. But for now, thanks for watching.
Ciao for now.